San Diego Padres versus Minnesota Twins. The San Diego Padres, 75-60 second NL West, play the final game of a 3-game series on the road Sunday against the Minnesota Twins, 61-73, 4th AL Central. San Diego lost the opening game of the series 7-4 on Friday. The Padres have lost 2 straight and 4 of the last 5. San Diego trails first place in the National League West by 2 games and currently holds the second of 3 NL wildcard spots. Minnesota has won 2 of the last 3 following Friday's win. The Twins trail first place in the American League Central by 17 games and are 10.5 games behind the third and final AL wildcard spot. San Diego will play without 4 pitchers, as well as center fielder Jackson Merrill and shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Minnesota will play without 4 pitchers, as well as C. Christian Vazquez and LF Allen Roden. The San Diego Padres are 8th in batting average at .252, 9th in on-base percentage at .321, 22nd in runs scored with 568, and 25th in slugging percentage at .385. Manny Machado has been San Diego's best power hitter with 32 first doubles, 21 first home runs, and 76 first RBI. Fernando Tatis Jr. and Gavin Sheets are second in home runs with 18 apiece, and Sheets is second in RBI with 60. San Diego has 7 players with 47 or more RBI. The Padres have hit 220 doubles, 16 triples, and 116 home runs for 342 extra base hits in 135 games. On the mound, San Diego is first in batting average against at .224, second in both ERA at 3.62 and WHIP at 1.20, while 20th in quality starts with 42. Nick Pivetta leads San Diego in wins with 13 and ERA for starters at 2.82, while Dylan Cease leads in strikeouts with 183. San Diego had not yet released the name of its starting pitcher for Sunday's final game of a series on the road against Minnesota, leaving fans and analysts speculating on the pitching matchup. The Minnesota Twins are 17th in slugging percentage at .398, 20th in on-base percentage at .311, 24th in batting average at .311 238, and 25th in runs scored with 563. Byron Buxton has 27 home runs and 66 RBI to lead Minnesota in both categories, while Trevor Larnach ranks second in home runs with 16, and Brooks Lee is second in RBI with 56. The Twins have 5 players with 43 or more RBI, showing some depth despite overall struggles at the plate. Minnesota has hit 206 doubles, 16 triples, and 160 home runs, totaling 384 extra base hits in 134 games, giving them moderate power but inconsistent run production. On the mound, Minnesota ranks 19th in WHIP at 1.31, 23rd in ERA at 4.43, 26th in batting average against at 257, and 28th in quality starts with just 32, indicating inconsistency across the rotation. Joe Ryan, who will start on Sunday for the Twins, stands out as the staff ace, leading Minnesota in wins with 12, strikeouts with 166, and ERA among starters at 3.22. The right-hander is 12-7 with a 0.97 WHIP, combining control and strikeout ability to keep opponents off balance. If Ryan continues his strong form, he could stabilize the rotation and give Minnesota a solid chance to secure a win in this matchup. Minnesota starting pitcher Joe Ryan has struggled in each of his last 2 appearances, allowing 11 runs over 9 combined innings, and the total went over in both contests. That continues a trend for the Twins, as the total has finished over in 7 of their last 8 games, and in 4 of their last 5 matchups against San Diego. The Padres have been no different, with the total going over in 4 of their last 5 games, including the opening game of this series, when a combined 11 runs crossed the plate despite an 8.5-run line. With both clubs trending toward high-scoring affairs recently, and Minnesota's pitching staff still inconsistent, bettors should expect another matchup where the offense dominates early. pushing the total over once again. Minnesota has lost 10 of the last 14 overall, and 6 of the last 8 played at home. San Diego has won 6 of its last 10 and is battling for first place in the National League West while currently holding one of the 3 NL wildcard spots. In contrast, Minnesota is 17 games behind first in the American League Central and 10.5 games behind the final AL wildcard spot. San Diego has performed well on the mound, as the Padres are first in batting average against and second in both ERA and WHIP. On the other hand, Minnesota is 19th in WHIP, 23rd in ERA, and 26th in batting average against. San Diego has produced slightly better at the plate than Minnesota, as the Padres are 22nd in runs scored and Minnesota is 25th. Minnesota starting pitcher Joe Ryan has had problems in each of his last 2 appearances, allowing 14 hits and 11 runs in only 9.0 innings pitched. Ryan served up 3 home runs in those 2 appearances. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is San Diego Padres. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Miami Marlins versus New York Mets. The Miami Marlins will face the New York Mets at Citi Field, and this is the 3rd series of the season between these National League East Division foes. New York is 6-4 in its last 10 meetings with Miami, and the over-under was split 5-5 in those games. Miami 63-71 SU, 78-56 RL, and 66-64 OU dropped 2 of 3 games to Atlanta in its previous series, struggling to generate consistent offense against a quality pitching staff. The Marlins were 4-6 in their last 10 games. The over was 7-2-1, highlighting continued inconsistency at the plate despite flashes of competitiveness. While they have shown the ability to produce runs in bursts, Miami's inability to sustain that production has led to uneven results, leaving them vulnerable in matchups against strong pitching and emphasizing the volatility of both run totals and betting outcomes in their recent games. Miami will turn to right-hander Sandy Alcantara tomorrow against New York. In his last outing, the 29-year-old allowed 2 runs on 3 hits with 7 strikeouts in 7 innings against the Braves, showing flashes of dominance despite some inconsistency. He is 7-11 with a 5.87 ERA and 1.35 WHIP in 26 starts, 141.0 IP this year, including 2-6 with an 8.03 ERA and 1.73 WHIP in 11 road starts, 52.2 IP, highlighting struggles away from home. Opposing lineups may look to exploit this road weakness, while Alcantara will need to rely on his strikeout ability and stamina to keep New York's hitters off balance and give Miami a chance to compete in this critical matchup. The Marlins may not be on anyone's radar to make the postseason, but the ball club has made significant strides in 2025. Miami has experienced its share of success this season, particularly on offense, showing an ability to generate runs consistently. The Finns are scoring 4.5 runs per game in August, displaying balanced hitting and timely production, and are just a game under .500 in the second half of the season. With key contributors performing well and the lineup clicking at the right moments, Miami has positioned itself as a competitive team capable of challenging opponents and keeping games close down the stretch. New York, 72-62 SU, 66-68 RL, and 62-65-70 OU, swept Philadelphia in its previous series, showing strong pitching and timely hitting throughout. The Mets are 6-4 in their last 10 games. The over went 6-2-2, maintaining momentum as they aim to stay competitive in the playoff race. New York will start righty Kodai Senga on Sunday against Miami. In his previous appearance, the 32-year-old surrendered 3 runs on 6 hits and 3 walks in 4 innings against the Phillies, showing some uncharacteristic struggles. He is 7-5 with a 2.73 ERA and 1.29 WHIP in 21 starts, 108.2 IP this year, including 5-1 with a 2.82 ERA and 1.33 WHIP in 11 starts, 54.1 innings pitched, at Citi Field, demonstrating strong home performance. Senga's ability to generate strikeouts and limit hard contact makes him a tough matchup for Miami, and if he can maintain command, New York has a solid chance to keep the game under control early and give their bullpen a manageable lead. The Mets are in a tight race with Philadelphia in the NL East. New York's bullpen is solid, and the pitching staff has done its job at home, posting a 3.56 ERA, but they haven't been consistent on the road, reflected in a 28-37 record away from Citi Field. The Mets were 13 games over .500 in the first half, but have struggled since the All-Star break, going 3 games under, highlighting inconsistency in both pitching and offense. Last series' sweep of the Phillies could be momentous, giving New York momentum and confidence as they look to close the gap in the division race, but sustaining that form will be crucial in the coming weeks. I'm not banking on Alcantara to continue pitching effectively, as his 8.03 ERA on the road is far too concerning to ignore, and opposing hitters are batting over .300 against him in away games. While he has been more reliable since the All-Star break, it hasn't been without issues. He allowed 11 runs on 16 hits in his first 2 August outings, showing flashes of inconsistency. New York's lineup has been red hot this month, consistently producing runs and extra base hits, and there's little reason to believe they'll suddenly cool off tomorrow. Adding to that, Senga has struggled in recent outings, posting a 5.48 ERA this month, which raises questions about the Mets' ability to contain New York's offense. With both starting pitchers showing vulnerabilities, combined with potent lineups capable of capitalizing on mistakes, the game is likely to see multiple scoring swings, making the over a confident play for Sunday's matchup, especially given recent offensive trends. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Mets cover run line. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. New York Yankees versus Chicago White Sox. This season, there have been many teams performing vastly different across baseball, and the New York Yankees, 76-60, have completely turned their season around over the past few weeks. And after struggling for months, they're once again looking like World Series contenders down the stretch. On Sunday, they take on the Chicago White Sox, 48-88, a team that showed some progression in 2025. But for the most part, they still look to be a few years away from even competing for a spot in the playoffs. The New York Yankees started 2025 hot, and after a recent slump, they've picked up the pace again with 7 straight wins, as they now sit just 2 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League East. While the Yankees have struggled at points this season, the lineup hasn't slowed down a bit, as this team still ranks first in baseball in runs scored. And with a team ERA that's seemingly just good enough at 3.94, they're a threat to get back to the Fall Classic. On Sunday, New York will turn to young righty Luis Gil, who has appeared in just 5 games this season, posting a 3.75 ERA in that time, with an impressive 22 strikeouts through 24.0 innings of work. Last time out for the Yankees was another big win over these White Sox, with the 3 to 7 hitters in the lineup all posting a single RBI on the night, as Cam Schlittler gave them 6.0 innings of 1-run ball to lead them to the 5-3 victory. The Chicago White Sox have struggled for much of the past few years, and in 2025 that has continued, with the team going 29-42 at home as they once again sit in last place in the competitive American League Central. Unsurprisingly, the White Sox rank in the bottom 5 in baseball in runs scored this season, but with a team ERA of 4.26, they have flashed some level of potential to give their fans some hope moving into the future, particularly if young pitchers continue to develop and the offense finds more consistency. Taking the mound for Chicago in this one will be veteran lefty Martin Perez, who has been fantastic in 7 appearances this season, posting a 2.02 ERA with just 8 earned runs allowed over 35.2 innings. Last time out for the White Sox was a competitive loss to these Yankees, with Shane Smith tossing 6.2 innings and allowing just 2 earned runs. but with the offense managing just 3 runs on 8 hits. They eventually fell 5-3. Perez will look to build on that strong performance, aiming to keep New York's lineup off balance with his command and experience, while hoping the White Sox bats can provide timely support to secure a much-needed win. Given the talent disparity between these two teams, it's no shock that the Yankees have posted an 8-2 record in their last 10 head-to-head matchups, with New York outscoring them 25-9 in 3 games played thus far in this series. The combination of superior pitching, timely hitting, and overall depth has allowed the Yankees to consistently dominate, putting pressure on their opponents early and often, while forcing mistakes that they can quickly capitalize on to maintain control of each contest. On top of that, the Yankees have won 5 straight games against the White Sox played in Chicago, and with one of their top young arms taking the mound, expect the Yankees to complete the 4-game sweep in this one. Their confidence has been building all season, and with a potent lineup complementing strong pitching, they should be able to control the pace of the game, force timely outs, and keep the White Sox off balance from the first pitch to the final out. In 3 matchups between these teams this season, a total of 34 runs have been scored, 25 of them by the Yankees, with the over now being 6-4 in their last 10 head-to-head encounters, dating back to the 2023 season. The Yankees' ability to consistently generate runs against the White Sox has been a key factor, while Chicago's pitching and bullpen inconsistencies have contributed to several higher-scoring affairs. Given the recent offensive trends and favorable matchups, this series suggests another game where run production could be at a premium for New York, making the total a significant betting consideration. For the Yankees, the over sits at 7-3 in their last 10 overall games, with 58 total runs scored in their current 7-game winning streak, and for the White Sox, the over comes in at 6-4 in their past 10, with an average of 5.5 runs allowed per game in those games. Both teams have been consistently generating offense, with strong contributions from key hitters and favorable matchups against opposing pitching staffs. With both bullpens showing some vulnerability lately, this sets the stage for a potentially high-scoring affair, where the total could easily be reached if either team gets hot early. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is New York, -1.5. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Arizona Diamondbacks versus Los Angeles Dodgers. It's the conclusion of a series on the diamond between a pair of NL West foes as the Arizona Diamondbacks finish off a 3-game set with the Los Angeles Dodgers Sunday afternoon, and in the opening game of the series Friday night, the Diamondbacks picked up a 3-0 victory to draw first blood. Which team picks up the victory on Getaway Day in the City of Angels? Arizona won their 3rd straight and 7th in the last 10 games, as they blanked the Dodgers in the series opener Friday night. The Diamondbacks entered Saturday 67 and 69 on the year and stood 4th in the NL West, 10.5 games behind the Padres for the top spot. They were 6.5 games behind the Mets for the final wild card spot in the National League playoff picture. Against Los Angeles Friday night, Arizona finished with 4 hits as no player recording more than 1. Blaze Alexander, his 7th, homered in the win for the Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen, 10-13, earned the win as he threw 6 shutout frames, allowing 2 hits with 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. Jake Woodford tossed a scoreless 9th, allowing no hits with 1 walk and 1 strikeout for his 3rd save. Brandon Pfaadt takes the mound for the Diamondbacks in the final game of this set as he logs his 28th start of the season. He is 12-8 with a 5.24 ERA, a 1.374 WHIP, 32 walks, and 117 strikeouts over 142.2 innings of work on the year. Pfaadt didn't factor in the decision in his last start, which came on the road against the Brewers Tuesday night. He gave up 6 runs on 8 hits with 1 walk and 4 strikeouts over 2.2 innings. In a game, the Diamondbacks dropped 9-8. In his last 3 starts, Pfaadt is 0-1 with a 6.89 ERA, a 1.53 WHIP, 3 walks and 13 strikeouts over 15.2 innings of work. Pfaadt makes his 7th career start against the Dodgers in this contest. He has a 4-2 record with a 4.68 ERA, a 1.347 WHIP, 11 walks, and 32 strikeouts over 32.2 innings of work against them. Pfaadt is 2-1 with a 5.63 ERA, a 1.188 WHIP, 4 walks, and 11 strikeouts over 16 innings in 3 career starts at Dodger Stadium. Los Angeles saw their 4-game win streak snapped as they were blanked in the opening game of this set Friday night. The Dodgers entered Saturday 77-58 and held a 2-game lead on the Padres for the top spot in the NL West. On Friday night against Arizona, Los Angeles had only 3 hits with no player having more than 1. Andy Pages had the team's lone extra base hit, a double, as the team left 6 runners on base in the loss. Blake Snell, 3-3, took the loss on the bump as he allowed 3 runs on 4 hits with 3 walks and 8 strikeouts over 5.1 innings of work. Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets the call here on getaway day as he makes his 26th start of the season for the Dodgers here. He is 11-8 with a 2.90 ERA, a 1.074 WHIP, 48 walks, and 157 strikeouts over 139.2 innings of work on the year. Yamamoto earned the win in his last start, which came on the road against the Padres last Sunday. He threw 6 innings, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits with 2 walks and 6 strikeouts in a 6-2 Dodgers win. In his last 3 starts, Yamamoto is 1-1 with a 5.60 ERA, a 1.30 WHIP, 9 walks, and 18 strikeouts over 17.2 innings of work. Yamamoto makes his 5th career start against the Diamondbacks in this contest. He is 2-1 with a 2.59 ERA, a 1.027 WHIP, 6 walks, and 26 strikeouts over 24.1 innings of work against them. Yamamoto is 6-4 with a 3.30 ERA, a 1.149 WHIP, 29 walks, and 119 strikeouts over 101 innings of work in 19 career starts at Dodger Stadium. Arizona entered Saturday having seen the over go 65-63-8 in their opening 136 games of the season. The Diamondbacks are tied for 6th in the league in runs per game with 4.93, a number that slides down slightly to 4.70 runs per game on the road on the year. Arizona has an average total of 9.76 runs per game, and that number slides down to 9.56 runs per game away from Chase Field. Los Angeles entered Saturday having seen the underpost a 66-64-5 mark in their 135 games on the season. The Dodgers are 2nd in the majors as they average 5.12 runs a game, giving them an average total of 9.45 runs per contest. At home, Los Angeles averages 5.65 runs per game and has an average total of 10.19 runs per game this season. With Pfaadt's road struggles this season, look for this game to wind up over the total. Division rivalries are always heated, and this one is likely no exception. Pfaadt has a winning record, though he does own an ERA north of 5 on the year. He struggled on the road, going 4-5 with a 7.06 ERA, 1.43 WHIP, 19 homers allowed, and just 2 quality starts in 13 outings. Los Angeles aims to hold off the Padres in the NL West, taking advantage of a 44-25 home record. Yamamoto pitches well, and the Dodgers' bats should secure a win. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Los Angeles Dodgers ML. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.